Okay, so I've measured out the water directly into the pan. I'm going to get that heating up because it does take a bit of time to come to the boil. That's water out of the kettle, so it's already fairly warm. I've got a splash extra just to allow for a little bit of evaporation. I've mixed up the powdered maltodextrin and fructose and citric acid and pectin in here, and I'm going to spoon this in. So in the past I have done this where I added the pectin late, but that all tends to be a bit frantic because it really kind of like bubbles up and flares up when you add the pectin in. This way round there is a bit of a danger that the pectin, I think, transforms a bit and isn't quite as effective while you're heating up, and that's why I'm kind of starting with near boiling water. Let's get that in. So hopefully it won't do the pectin too much damage. Now I've found a whisk is really the best thing to use, both to mix up the powder into the water and also for stirring when it starts to boil over. And by stirring you can kind of keep the boil over down a bit. That's gone in pretty well. Let's put the lid on it and wait for a sec. You can see I've got the shakers ready to put the gel into afterwards, but that's not an urgent job. You'll want to leave it to cool down a little bit before you do that anyway. So I use standard kitchen scale for the heavier ingredients like maltodextrin and the fructose. I've got this micro precision scale for measuring citric acid and pectin. Been a pretty effective unit. That's the brand name there. You will get some interesting recommendations on Amazon if you buy one of those. Okay, see how we're doing. What I aim for is like a pretty thorough boil for a minute. You can see it's really building in bulk, the level's risen now. So as soon as it starts to get really close to proper rolling boil, you need to start stirring hard. Okay, here we go. And turn that down a little bit as well. Oh, what a mess. I'm going to call that enough. Okay, so now the process is you just leave it to cool until you're kind of happy handling it and pouring it into the shakers. And then pour it into the shakers. I'll let it cool down to room temperature or close enough, and then put it in the fridge. And then it's ready to go into the gel bottles.